Alright, draft physics video. Fucking commenters. Stupid fucking pieces of shit. Anyway, so I figure I'll do a little bit of science first. So this asshole Piro types a whole bunch of shit, about the Feynman video. This other asshole brings it up. You didn't even watch the full Feynman clip. I've done the Feynman clip at least now 3 times in 3 separate videos, playing the whole clip. 3 times in 3 videos. And I mean, the fact that you people are so fucking dumb and you can't see what plainly takes place, which is Feynman says, look, here's a really great idea. Oh, it has a stupid little catch. Okay, yeah, that's what he says. This works for the purpose of gravity, but yeah, you can't take it outside of gravity. You can't, it doesn't do the velocity thing right, but it does everything else right. And Feynman's critique is a stupid raindrop argument. You can't see how that is preposterously superficial for a physicist to talk about, use raindrop analogies for physics. Oh, God. He goes on to explain in detail why it doesn't work. No, he doesn't use any detail at all, actually, jackass. And I've refuted it in numerous videos. Numerous. Explained why it's superficial and has nothing to do with electrons, protons, and nuclear bits. It doesn't understand physics. It doesn't explain it in the context of physics. But just pretend that hasn't taken place, you lying piece of fucking cunt shit. Oh, I mean, just get what you deserve, which is to be at least maimed by a drunk driver. You're just a reckless shit talker, John Reynolds. You piece of puke. Anyway, so I was thinking about this. So Pure is in the same category as these. These are all religious kooks defending a fucking religion. They don't have an argument to make. It's just that, God can put fossils in the ground if he wants to. God could leave the dinosaurs off the ark if he wanted to. It's God's business. God can do anything. And it's the same way with their stupid, silly, bent spaces and their dark matters and their Huygens and their Heisenbergs. These are all fucking gods of the gap. They can't even, you can't even argue their shit because they just come up with catch-22 bullshit excuses for why you can't apply real physics to any of this crap. Is we can just make up fake waves and fake radar and fake this and fake that. We can just give the fucking God any attribute it needs. I mean, it's a fucking religion. And these are just fanatic sycophants to a silly pope, And it's just, it's gross. And these pukes will sit there and fucking criticize me? These useless, weak-minded trolls? Ugh, disgusting. Well, anyway, so here, so Feynman's argument was basically a velocity argument, right? And I have already explained how velocity changes the physics of the person. That's why there's time dilation, and that's why it's possible that your matter isn't going to create friction when you have velocity. So anyway, I have explained it. I can explain it all again and again. It doesn't matter to these trolls, so I won't bother being redundant for the people really paying attention. But anyway, so I was thinking about it. I'm saying this is their hypocrisy because they haven't even given this a little tiny bit of thought. So I just spent a second thinking about it, saying, well, couldn't I apply the same stupid raindrop analogy to bent space? Okay, because let's understand what bent space is. Okay, bent space means there's a sun, let's say, and it's in a galaxy. Okay, a big spiral arm galaxy thing, and so it's moving. They speculate, whatever, 468,000 miles a second or something. And so it has, and bent space we know travels the speed of light. So whatever you people think bent space is, they've established that gravity travels at the speed of light. When they found the gravitational waves, it still took them, billions of years to get here. So the gravity, the bent space wave, moves at the speed of light. So by your silly theory, fuckfaces, okay, your silly bent space rules, right? The rules you get to make up and just make up your God can do anything, right? Well, explain to me then how bent space even meets Feynman's criteria. So Feynman's criteria is there's a friction problem with a particle gravity. But what if you're moving? All right, well, what if a sun is moving and it has a gravitational field around it, moving the speed of light? That is, so say it's moving this way, and it has a gravitational field moving in front of it at the speed of light. The field moves from the sun, okay, vibrates outward, does whatever it does its perturbating into the field at the speed of light. So how do these velocities add up? So how would, say, 462 miles a second plus c? So how exactly can you do that? So wouldn't it mean if the sun is moving in a galaxy that the sun would be here and all the gravity would be lagging way behind because of the velocity? Wouldn't it end up looking like that or something? Some kind of funky, screwed up gravity? So wouldn't we notice it, in our own solar system, that the gravity is all lopsided because the sun's moving? Where's the evidence that somehow you can still have gravity go ahead of it at the speed of light? How can it do that? How can the gravity go in the same direction as the velocity at the speed of light without faster than light communication, without breaking the rule of the constant, without breaking Feynman's silly fucking raindrop analogy? So you fucking hypocritical cunts. So go ahead and explain it. Oh, there won't be any explanation. It'll be the same explanation for when you point out how, having all your little special time-dilated frames means that you create light that actually moves faster than the speed of light, and that if you put a hole in your little frame of ship and shoot the light out of it, that light's still going faster than the speed of light. But we don't get any explanation why that's not a fundamental breaking of the rules. I mean, again, maybe I'll do a Patreon to finance sending a letter to NASA, an official letter, one you have to pay to have, the guy sign it when it gets there. And maybe we can get NASA to officially state that, the light you see from Saturn when you look in the sky, if you could actually see Saturn with your little telescope or something, that you're not seeing Saturn where it is, you're seeing Saturn where it was. Because I'm pretty fucking sure NASA knows that fact, that light doesn't carry momentums in two different directions. I mean, you people are stupid, dumb fuckers, and it's just so obnoxious that you think you have a right to ridicule me or point any kind of fingers at me or do anything. I am so fucking pure and untouchable compared to you lying scum. I haven't argued anything in a cheating matter. I haven't shown fake evidence. I haven't completely distorted a truth like the fact that Feynman demonstrated Lesage gravity not because it was a sucky theory, but because it was a damn good theory. But it had a catch in his brain, because his brain was a little bit too fucking small to think about it a little bit. All right, and he was so full of wave theory bullshit that he couldn't expand his mind a little bit and do a little better than that. Probably another stupid, irrelevant fucking cunt comment by another fucking cunt. You people are just so fucking dumb. So anyway, and then this John Reynolds guy says, clean my house. I clean my anus, and that's about the only thing I worry about. Okay, other than that, fuck you. Go wash your dishes. Go waste your time doing whatever you want to waste your time doing, jackass. The fact that my life is so fucking interesting and productive is because I don't waste my time on bullshit that doesn't goddamn cunt matter. Where you obviously do. You can't even make an icon, for fuck's sake. You can't do anything, you fucking useless piece of shit. You got no right to talk in any way about what I need to do. You need to shape up, fucker. Alright, simply apply a little shocker method. Oh look, he's got a little image of a shocker. I mean, fuck. You think I care about this shit face whatever biters? You think this shit is at all interesting or entertaining? No, it's not. Fuck you. I'm not interested. This trite bullshit. Ugh, all idiots. The thing between them could be heat. What if gravity opposes heat? By what theory? So you're just making up shit. Oh, okay. This explains a lot then. There's also electromagnetic attraction, repulsion, depending on, of course, the formulation and resonance. Just make up words, right? What does magnetism, I mean, frankly, a plain magnet doesn't have anything to do with resonance. It is extremely difficult to explain opposition, isn't it? I don't know what opposition is. No, it's extremely easy, you dumbass. I've illustrated it in the videos. The closer you bring the thing, the little ping pong ball bounces back and forth more. So it's really easy to explain repulsion, you idiot. The division seems to be everywhere and in everything, but cannot be pinned down, for the division is also... Oh, fuck you. Just fuck off, shithead. This isn't on the subject of my videos. Fuck you. You either make a counter-argument to what I'm arguing or a defense of conventional physics, but I really don't want to hear your raggy, stupid, fucking other religion. I don't need a religion. I have evolution, jackass. I don't want to hear about your Mohammed or your fucking Jeebus or your fucking other unicorn wavy nonsense theory, okay? Your ultra-dimensional bullshit. I'm done with all that shit. You can't fool me with that crap anymore because I've seen, Darwin's truth, so to speak. I've seen the universe is fucking mechanical, is fucking physical. It's not full of this fucking bullshit, this wavy crap, this Heisenberg, whatever it is. Good day. Fuck you. What about the interaction of light on the edge concerning the thickness of the material of the slit? Look, the thickness is sort of irrelevant to the pattern. Thickness is only relevant in the sense that the divergence of the light will end up consuming photons that end up hitting the sides of the slit. But, the slit has to be pretty thick for that to start being an issue. Not the width or height of the slit, but the obvious right angle that the light perhaps not so obviously interacts with. Well, again, it isn't so obvious, especially with lasers, because they're fairly coherent, so not a whole lot of divergence. The canceling of wave is well understood. The canceling of wave is well understood. So what? Again, it's an on-off pattern. So if every on-off pattern is a fucking wave function, again, I sit there and illustrate. I sit there and point out how I have this aluminum tube. Where the fuck is my aluminum tube? That produces perfect Newton's rings, and it has nothing to do with Newton's rings. So, you people want to say that every time you see an on-off pattern, it's got to be fucking wave functions, got to be interference. Well, that's your retarded, stupid, ignorant perception of reality. Fuck you. Let's see, but nobody talks about the polarization of light interacting on the material's edge thickness. Well, again, this isn't about polarization of the light. Polish angle, it all comes down to, again, this is just nothing to do with my video. Just nothing. I explained in my video. I have my theory, right? I'm saying it's electrons, motherfucker. Make a counter argument to why it can't be electrons, or make an argument defending the silly bullshit math and idiotic scenarios of it Huygens when it sees one slit and it doesn't Huygens when it sees two slits. Do something like that or just fuck off. God damn it. I do believe I have pointed this out some weeks ago, question mark, who fucking cares, as my observations would indeed point to the proton interacting with the electron may have a number of vectored outcomes, maybe not your perpendicular only. This isn't about that. The perpendicular thing has to do with how electrons travel, okay, and when they're in a stream of force, okay. So it's an electrical phenomenon in the sense that you need a significant amount of force to force electrons to accelerate, to keep accelerating, to keep moving, to keep being pushed in a direction. This conversation is about what electrons do when they're hit with a small, discrete amount of energy, and whether or not they move consistent, straight with that occurrence, or whether they have a reflexive reaction that creates a an unstraight path. But the perpendicular thing has to do with the energy that goes through the electrons and through the protons, not the energy that pushes them. If there's a difference, I've drawn the fucking pictures. I mean, fuck. Have you changed your mind? No, I haven't changed my mind. You don't understand the difference between two subjects. There's a different subject between, you know, how the electron is moved by when something hits it. Okay, it absorbs the acceleration. As I pointed out, it loses something going the other way when it gains the acceleration. So it gains an imbalance. Energy isn't anything but the realization of imbalance. When you imbalance the field, something has to move. It looks like energy then. The force was always there. All you're doing is imbalancing the force. You're not actually creating something called force. Shit. Anyway, I've been over this shit. Fuck. 21 minutes. The reason the slit width is not mentioned is that in the ideal, most pure model of the two-slit experiment, the slits are considered to be of an arbitrarily small width. It isn't arbitrary. No, it's assumed to be the wavelength of the light, you stupid cunt. It's assumed to be a specific number, or they couldn't do the math at all, you jackass. It's not any small number won't work. If you actually do the experiment, very small variations in the size of the two slits will create huge changes in the pattern you'll get. So it can't be called arbitrary, you dumbass. This is so there is no one-slit interference. This is so that there is no one-slit interference pattern from each of the slits in the pattern, and thus it is easier to analyze. First off, you can't remove the single slit interference, okay, without making no slit at all. You're still going to get 3 dots. So even if you reduce the slit and the single slit very, very small, you still got 3 dots to deal with, jackass. That's why diffraction gratings actually work. Stupid fuck. So your theory is baseless rubbish. This would give an ideal result, which of course we do not see in practice because the slits do have some width. Duh. Yeah, so this is just rationalization. Somehow this practice all makes sense somehow. Somehow it makes sense to have math that you apply in one circumstance, the distance is the distance of the slits, and in the other circumstance the math says the distance is the distance of the width of the impediment. Oh yeah, that all makes sense. That is why the typical pattern we see has the envelope of wide bands in which the narrow bands are contained. And again, the math doesn't deal with that circumstance beyond saying, well look, just apply the formula twice and then shave off the extra bits. It's completely contrived math. It has no theory behind it. There's no fucking explanation for how this actually works. How the photons actually create this, you know, I'm a double slit, not a single slit. One of us will Huygens and one of us won't. However, it does this metering of the influences. There's no explanation for the physics, for fuck's sake. Oh, look at all this crap. I'm not going to read all this bullshit from this asshole. The wide bands are contributed from the interference pattern from each of the single slits. Well, again, that doesn't explain the little bands in the middle. So again, you're just talking shit some more. All of this can be analyzed quite easily with the assumption, oh, fuck you, that we are dealing with a wave. Yeah, no, it can't be done that way, jackass. I mean, look, I've already shown the math, and you're going to sit there and play this stupid douche, this little simplistic game? It's not how it works, asshole. By saying we're dealing with a wave, we are saying that the pattern from the slits to the screen satisfies the wave equation with some imposed boundary conditions, whatever that means. Some imposed boundary conditions, which is we'll just create a synthetic pattern that doesn't really have anything to do with the real thing. Right. This equation, d2tw, so that's really helpful, equals, you know, when distance in one formula equals the distance to the target, and d in the other formula is the distance of the slit. I mean, obviously you're not pointing out what any of this shit means, you jerk. Where dt was the second partial derivative with respect to the named variable. Oh, so that's so interesting. Thank you. So now we have a third thing for a d to be. It can be the second partial derivative. Excellent. So if we have such a way, we can get the two-slit simulation by setting, well, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This corresponds to the idealized. Well, again, this isn't about what's idealized. This is about this supposed to be the most perfect math in the universe, and it can't really do an on-off pattern completely accurately. And it certainly can't do it in the single-slit example without some preposterous preamble of "Thou shalt believe in our God Huygens." The magic wave god, where the Huygensing of the wave moves it through, and it can now bend and diffract in all kinds of shapes. I mean, these shape-shifting photons. The one slit is hard to analyze. No, it's impossible to analyze with this stupid wave bullshit, because it doesn't behave anything like a physical water wave or any other kind of wave in a transmission medium. You have nothing in common at all. Unfortunately, this equation is hard to solve. Instead of just summing up the 2 point sources, we have to integrate over the entire region. Right, with Huygens. Just fuck you. Just fuck you. Enough of this shit. I might be party to say that available members would want to adjudicate this nonsense. I don't know what that even means, you stupid creepy weirdo. No one need to watch what they would prefer not to. Censorship is not a right to all on everything. I don't even know what that means. That they aren't even forced exposure to. So, too weird and stupid. Certainly not on the goddamn fucking subject. Let's see. Pixie dust bullshit. No such thing as an electron or a photon. Oh. Alright, well, I'll let these assholes argue with this. Oh, no, this guy's agreeing with this asshole. Exactly. Everything about the slit experiment shows waves, not particles. Everything, like the single slit really shows it. Just open a single slit and you see the little round waves, comes right out, no interference. That's just like the single slit with light, no interference. You're just religious kooks. So he responds, okay, this is a bear guy. And not just qualitative, but quantitatively. Yes, oh yes, we've got so much wave evidence. It's just incredible, the tons of wave evidence. One can derive precise, again, you just talked about how you don't have, the other guy anyway, precise math, that it is all kind of sloppy, and you're relying on Huygens, which is essentially a dark matter theory. I mean, fuck you people, are such hypocrites. You can just make up anything, and you'll accept it, need it. From the assumption that the light is a wave, which match very well with the observed phenomenon. Exactly don't match very well. Single slit interference patterns with light do not match very well with waves. Not at all. No match. Zero matching. Zero fucking matching. You fucking liars. And not just for slits, but for the diffraction of crystals, whatever that fucking means, the diffraction of crystals. That doesn't even make sense. It still would have to be the diffraction of light in crystals, you stupid retard. And many other things. Oh, and yes, the endless other things that God has accomplished, all the miracles God has just done so many miracles. It is thoroughly integrated into modern science and used as an observational tool to probe things at the quantum level. What a pile of rubbish that is. What the fuck does that even mean? Your fucking lies have probably inhibited human progress. And, living by this stupid fucking religion of your stupid bent space, your stupid Heisenberg, your stupid idiocy. Yes, there's a fucking goddamn phenomenon. Photons interact with electrons. Grow the fuck up. It's quantum electrodynamics, retards. On the other hand, if there anyone anywhere who has shown how you can get these results with particles, yeah, I just can't believe you're such a fucking cunt. I mean, I've only done video after video of explaining how you can do it. You fucking idiot. I should block these idiots. Perhaps light is a small group of electromagnetic vibrations in the grand broadcaster heat. Oh, shit. I mean, fuck you. Speed of light, jackass. What moves the speed of light? Well, let's see. Gravity, magnetism, light. So I guess it's a force, you dumb fuck. Heat? Heat isn't a real thing. Heat has two components. The release of actual force, infrared radiation, and the movement of atoms. It's not even a... This is like using the word love. Heat is a useless piece of shit word. Remember well, we only see a small bandwidth of the possibly infinite spectrum. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and you don't even see the gravity. Ha ha ha, except you see the effects of it, don't you, douchebag? Seems light when diffuse is a wave, fuck you, but in a laser it is a focused ray or beam. Well, that doesn't even mean anything. It's either a wave or it's not a wave. If it's a wave packet, a little ball of wave that doesn't spread, then it doesn't matter whether it's coming from the sun or coming out of a laser, you dimwit. Then to LEDs which just emit light at its frequency, whatever that is. I see the flicker of LEDs. One just needs to roll eyeballs around rapidly and observe it. So, yeah, the fact that you know, they can run LED. I mean, it's a diode. Obviously, you can't run AC current into it, but you can certainly run the current at a frequency to prevent the diode from burning out. Know well how the lens can change light's properties. Whatever, fuck you, not even on this subject. So all these assholes can go fucking... Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Let's see. Not any of that shit on this subject, really. DraftScience, Greenberg shill. Whatever the fuck that means. Noted. Who cares? I mean, really, I just don't care for this bullshit. Whatever that means. Hello all. We have two eyes. Some people have slit eyes, while others have circular pupils. This guy's really brilliant. And then you got the eyelid aperture. Oh, there's no eyelid aperture. Fuck you. Just fuck it. You're too stupid. Alright. Alright, so this is a lie. Fine, you know, the Puro just mischaracterized the truth. Feynman said the problem is it doesn't work. So I said, your dishonesty is grotesque. He clearly states it doesn't work for other reasons. He clearly says it. He says the word other reasons. He says it, for fuck's sake. It doesn't not work for gravity. It just doesn't work as because of what I just pointed out for bent space. Bent space fails because it doesn't pass the velocity test. If I give a sun velocity, how does its gravity go forward? How can it possibly go forward at the speed of light if the gravity is being moved? How can it have two momentums? How can it go C plus? How can it do that, douchebags? Why don't you explain? Why don't you explain how I haven't just refuted bent space now with the raindrop argument? So I've just defeated bent space with a raindrop argument. Why don't you just concede defeat then? Why don't you just accept that your theory's been debunked? It's not possible bent space could be the right answer because I've just debunked it entirely with my raindrop theory. You know, if you're running into the rain, you're going to hit more rain. Well, if your gravity is already going the speed of light, you can't possibly go more speed in that direction, can you? That's breaking the speed limits, isn't it? Well, isn't it? But see, they don't have to apply these. Once they invent one of these fucking God theories, they don't have to apply any real physics to it anymore. It's immune to physical investigation. Again, they come up with bent space, this stupid, idiotic bullshit of a convergence, right? Everything goes into this thing. Everything goes down the drain. Everything just goes down the drain. So everything comes from, everything comes from nowhere, and it goes nowhere. Because that's what space does. Empty space has a nowhere producing engine and a nowhere consuming engine. The bent space can eat as much bent space, and it can, puke out as much as you need, anytime you need, through the magic nothing mechanism, the non-described God theory. I mean, just what a bunch of fucking weasels. So I don't know, the superior mind pointed out a couple things, but he did in such an obtuse manner that he didn't even make the goddamn fucking point properly. And so I don't even know what this Piro remark means. This model of gravity is easily understood fully. I mean, it couldn't be a simpler theory of gravity. I mean, shit. You can go to the page, mock gravity. It's these simple drawings. It's little arrows coming one way, little arrows coming the other way. They get blocked. It causes a lack of pressure. It's a straight line force. It can't go around the corners. You can't get that? You're too stupid to figure out straight line force. Can't go around the corner. Shielded from pressure causes attraction. You can't figure that out? God, you stupid cunts. Oh, here's some dumbass shit from John again. Sounds like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps to me. Haven't you ever heard of a conservation of energy, you nincompoop? I've just already explained it, so look, you dumbass. I point out how I have an actual theory of inertia, unlike you pussy, unaccountable physicists who just don't. Oh no, it just has momentum. It just goes once it's going. It just has go-ness. Just keeps going because of the go-ness. That's how pussy and vacant your theory is, jackass. I'm actually explaining why there is time dilation and why when things have velocity they interact with the world differently. Because light's a one-dimensional thing, moving in one dimension only, having mass in only one dimension only. I've said that so many times. And matter's moving in 3 dimensions, you dumb cunt. But you're too stupid to understand any of this shit. So you can't make a real fucking argument, you douchebag. God. Alright, here we go. No, you look, dumbass. Electrons don't always fly right. They bounce. Oh, well, yeah? And accumulate off the photons when going through a magnetic field. What? They bounce and accumulate off the photons when going through a magnetic field. That just doesn't make any sense at all. So when your red and blue arrows hit the slit, okay, red and blue arrows, you mean the polarized light at a frequency, so the arrows at a frequency, you know that they're in the right position and have the correct velocity. What the fuck are you talking about? Going forward towards the right way distributes extra bits. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry, Amanda, but you're speaking gobbledygook. No, you're full of shit. Absolute preposterous shit. You want to have a live debate and I'll fucking bury you, you fucking piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. God, you are all lying cunts. You don't have an argument. More John. Okay, I'm going to have to block him. But the heavier object still has more electrons and protons being pushed by imaginary Gary particles. So he doesn't understand that proportionally a small thing has a certain paddle, okay? A certain ability to grab, to put a sail up. And the sail is a certain amount of sail per proton, let's say. And that would be the same for heavy objects and light objects. So the heavy object gets to have more sail, the light object has less sail, and that the same wind will therefore push them exactly the same speed because their sail is exactly the same proportional to their mass. And he can't understand that? You're too fucking stupid? Yes, obviously, and Piro's too fucking stupid. Since the pressure is distributed over more area, the heavier object still accelerates too quickly under your dumb theory. Says you. Hothliday can explain this to you douchebags. Because he conceded the argument that this, mock gravity does work. Oh, fuck. Since the pressure is distributed over more area. It's not about area, shithead. So again, that's like a Feynman raindrop argument. Where the fuck is gravity about area? Jackass. It's about density. And density is about just how many of the little cells you have in the same place. So the more cells you have in one place, that'll give you more substance and whatever you want to call it. But we're talking about things that make gravity versus being affected by gravity. When you're being affected, that means you're in the current. When you're making it, that means you're creating current. You can't understand the difference between making a current and sailing in a current? No, of course you can't. You're too fucking stupid. You don't know anything about physics. You don't know anything about logic. You piece of shit. So again, the pressure is applied over more area. The area is irrelevant. It's applied to the fucking atomic particles. It's applied to your atomic weight. The more atomic weight, then the more you get pushed. The less atomic weight, the less you get pushed, because you don't need to get pushed as much, right? So the little things get pushed exactly the same amount as the big things, dumbass. Oh, I mean, fucking stupid. Alright, now we're just gonna fuck this guy. Fuck you, John. You had your 12 irrelevant comments. You're done. You will never understand how the universe is created, which means all the theories that all of you so-called scientists come up with will all basically toilet paper in the end of the day. Without truly understanding something's origin, there's no real way to comprehend what it really is going on. This is just such a pile of shit. How would it make any goddamn difference? If the universe turned out to be something oscillating, you know, it did Big Bang contracts, and it just does that forever. How is knowing that change any of the physics or change relevancy? If the universe was a one-time event where, like, the fabric of nothing cracked and a bunch of golf balls flew out, and in a trillion years they'll finally fall back into their hole or something, how does that help? It's a mechanical process. There's no God, you retards. There's nothing about the origins of the universe that's going to be at the least bit interesting as a fact. It's going to demonstrate nothing. It's going to add it's going to give you absolutely nothing of meaning in terms of as a fact. It'll change nothing about what we already know. Okay, that it's just a bunch of crap, and that in circumstances it can get very complicated, and then even more complicated, and then even more complicated, and it's a staircase of complications that you need a certain level or plateau which to build the next plateau on, kind of a thing. And that's the way it works. It's like the smartest sea creature is a fucking shark, for fucking sake, okay? The animals that didn't go from land back into the ocean. So if you extract from the ocean all the mammals, you know, the smartest thing in the fucking ocean is the great white shark, probably. That's it. It didn't do it. Isn't is evolution brilliant in that case? Does evolution? Oh, look how profoundly interesting evolution is. No, it made a big giant mouth and an anus. You fucking idiot. God, people are just so fucking dumb. Let's see. The Pharaoh cell, of course, he didn't show any images of it. Are you retarded? His magnetism videos contain Pharaoh cells. I was talking about the video I was responding to, you jackass. He's got 4 million of the damn things. Well, he had at least 3 of them at that time. And my point was, he's talking about it without even showing an image of it. It was just kind of stupid that he has the thing sitting there right on his table, probably. And here he is doing a video on the subject, and he doesn't show the thing he's talking about. I thought that was kind of stupid, you fuck. Here. Now, what do I do with this, Grace? I mean, sorry, what the fuck do I do with here? What the fuck do I do? Anyway, fuck this shit. Oh, your ability to dismiss evidence grows greater by the day. It really is miraculous how your mind maneuvers around anything it doesn't want to see. I would say the same motherfucking thing about you. That's exactly what's wrong with you, you fucking weak-minded pieces of shit. You fall for it, okay? And it becomes your little sports hero. And that's all you're doing here. You're just sitting here defending some, you know, fucking steroid-taking douchebag because he's your little hero. I don't care if my physics is fucking woo and full of religious theories and God of the Gaps dark matter bullshit. I believe it because I love my little physicist. You're such a pussy. You so easily dismiss evidence. What? And try to downplay it. Like what? but you are so set on your own theory. Well, yeah, the theory I keep modifying and improving. Yes. I'm set on the idea that, look, I've already found the flaws of this bullshit. Like, they didn't really think about any of this crap. I guess nobody even thought about the fact that how does bent space have velocity? How do you give a bent space, bend, the dent in the fabric? How does the fabric bend move when the fabric bend is being created at the speed of light? Nobody even thought of that, you douche. Why is that? Why are you equally as critical of your own theory? Why would I be equally critical of my own theory? Clearly, I've thought about my own theory before I expressed it. Unlike you assholes, I don't talk out of my ass. Even though I call this channel DraftScience because it is working on it. But the truth is, most of the time I don't say something unless I've thought about it for a fucking while. And I have tested it and debugged it to the best of my ability. And then things that, yeah, I'm not too sure of, that's what I say. I'm not too sure of this one. So where have I been dishonest, you weaseling piece of shit? Could it be because it's yours? Interesting how from your viewpoint, and only yours, everything else has all these flaws. Again, the point is did I make it flawed? So pointing out its flaws is wrong when they're claiming it's the most proven theory in the history of mankind, and we can be completely assured that this is all great, that even though quantum mechanics and bent space will never marry, you'll never have a coherent theory of the universe or how it works because the two theories are so preposterously, idiotically divergent. One making zillions of dimensions and the other one making a void of empty space where you can just throw any of your problems, just make them go away. But your theory is flawless and absolutely correct. I never said anything like that, jackass. But what I'd say is it is flawless. The observations are flawless in the sense that some of them are quite obvious. Like, yes, the inverse square rule and the speed of light being consistent for all the straight line forces. And why are we separating these forces? Can you not see how much your ego has driven all this? Can't you see how you're just such a stupid, ignorant motherfucking cunt douchebag and a rude turd that why should I put up with any of your crap, fuckhead? Fuck off! Get what you deserve. Where are the drunk drivers when I need them? Fuck you people, really. You're just rude, obnoxious, shit-talking, unaccountable, pussy shit. You think you have a right, okay? But you got no stand-up balls to defend yourself. Put your own face on it, okay? Make a fucking cunt video proving or arguing or doing anything to impugn anything I've goddamn said. That means accurately quote me and try to make an argument, you weasels. But you can't goddamn do it. Gutless cowards. Fucking turd shit-talking trolls. So, fuck you.